The story begins with a young boy named Jack who lives with his father. He loved reading stories about giants which his mother used to read to him when she was alive. The story went that many years ago, some monks found magical beans. They thought these beans would create a path to the sky. But when they reached the top, they found something entirely different, something that existed between the earth and the sky. That place was called Guantua, where extremely dangerous giants lived. It was from those magical plants that the giants descended and began to oppress the people. At that very moment, Princess Isabel was also listening to this story. Her mother told her this story and asked, "Aren't you afraid of that two-headed giant who is the king of all these giants?" No, I'm not afraid," the princess replied. Those sages melted the hearts of the giants and made a crown which was placed on King Eric's head. King Eric subdued the giants and sent them back to Guantua. After that, those magical plants were also cut down and peace prevailed forever. The king's crown was buried along with him, and this story became a legend. When Jack's father was putting him to bed, the boy asked if the giants would ever come back. His father replied that even if that happened, the king's descendants would stop them. But in the end, he left saying that giants don't really exist. Meanwhile, the princess's mother told her that she carried the blood of King Eric. Anyway, after Jack's father left his room, the boy started reading the story again, which said that one day the giants would return, wage war against humans on Earth, and kill Eric's descendant. 10 years later, Jack's uncle sent him to the city to sell their horse. He also told him not to get distracted along the way. After reaching the city, Jack, now grown up, began to sell his horse and cart. But his attention was immediately drawn to the city's theater. There, people were retelling the same story of King Eric and the giants. While watching the play, Jack noticed a beautiful girl. The girl also realized that Jack was looking at her. The play hadn't even ended yet when 3 men started harassing the girl. As the girl was leaving, Jack followed them and stopped those men. One of them punched Jack in the face, but Jack still said kindly, "Look, let the girl go." Suddenly, a few of the king's special guards arrived from behind, after which those 3 immediately started apologizing. Meanwhile, Jack felt that there was something special about him. As soon as they saw the princess sit on her horse, those people immediately fell to their knees. Seeing this, Jack was astonished and wondered, what did I even do to deserve this? But when he turned around, he finally understood what was really going on. After the princess left, as soon as Jack came outside, he saw that someone had stolen his cart. Meanwhile, in the palace, a nervous-looking monk appeared before the king's advisor, Roderick. He seemed a bit flustered. At that moment, Isabel opened the door. By mistake, Jack was pushed. Jack grabbed her hand, but still she fell down. As she was falling, the princess's mother's bracelet ended up in her hand. No one knows how, but Jack tumbled and stumbled his way safely to the ground, though at that moment he was unconscious. The next morning, the king also arrived there looking at the giant beanstalk. The king picked him up and asked, "Why do you have my daughter's bracelet?" That same special guard from the market, Elmont, recognized Jack. Then Jack told them everything. The king decided that Jack, Roderick, and Elmont would work together to find Isabel. After a while, they all started climbing the giant plant. Roderick, however, was up to his own tricks. Jack asked Elmont, "What do you think will be up there? Do you believe in that story about the giants?" Elmont said that it's possible there really are giants. Elmont spoke frankly, saying, "You're doing all this to win the princess's heart, aren't you? Even if she doesn't marry Roderick, she won't marry an ordinary man like you." A soldier named Kron tried to push Jack to the other side, but Jack lost his grip and fell halfway down. They somehow managed to save him and then continued climbing upward. The path upward was quite long, so many of their companions were killed. In the end, only 6 of them were left. By the next morning, they had somehow reached the top of the plant. When they reached the top, they found the broken remains of the house, so everyone set out to search for the princess in this mysterious world. As Elmont moved ahead, Roderick stopped Jack and threatened him, demanding that he hand over all the remaining magic beans to him. Jack handed him the purse full of beans, upon which Roderick told him not to mention this to anyone. But Jack was clever too. He had hidden 1 bean. Elmont and Craw found the traces left behind by Isabel. The 2 of them quickly followed after her. While they were all searching for Isabel, Jack found the book he had given her. He told everyone that she must be hiding somewhere nearby. Then they noticed broken branches of trees around them. Jack thought that something big must have dragged her away from here. It seems she is in trouble. Elmont divided his men into 2 groups. Crow and Jack started looking for some prey to eat. But soon they got caught in a trap. Elmont began to cut them out of it. But just then, he saw someone coming towards them. They got out of there and hid immediately. A giant came there and swallowed an entire sheep whole. Then suddenly he caught Crow's scent. Soon the giant found Crow. Crow tried to run away, but the giant leapt and reached him in a single bound. The giant was just about to eat him when Elmont rushed over to attack, but the giant kicked him and knocked him unconscious. Now the giant captured both of them and took them along with him. Jack was quietly following them without making a sound. Meanwhile, the other group reached a waterfall. There, Roderick called out to a soldier. He nudged him and said, "Look, there's the princess." As soon as he stepped forward to look, he pushed the soldier. Suddenly, a giant caught Vic and ate him. Another giant arrived there, but Roderick managed to grab that special crown just in time, which saved his life. Jack followed the giant all the way to their city. Just then, we saw that a giant had captured Isabel and was holding her prisoner, asking her how she got there. The girl didn't answer. The giant asked again if anyone else was coming. To this, Isabel replied, "I'm alone." But the two-headed giant, General Fallon, knows that Isabel is a descendant of King Eric. He showed his people that humans had returned. Just then, another giant brought Crow and Elmont there as well. The leader of the giants questioned them. Crow didn't answer and started mocking them instead. So, one of the giants ate Crow in a single gulp. Jack heard the commotion, but managed to quietly reach there while avoiding two giants. General Fallon threatened Elmont that he would eat Isabel if he didn't answer. He started fighting with another giant over who had the right to eat her. Just then, Roderick arrived there wearing the crown. All the giants fell to their knees, even the general. Elmont was happy that Roderick had arrived, but Roderick went straight to sit on the throne. Both Isabel and Elmont were shocked when Roderick told the giants that now they would fight for him. "Tomorrow morning we will attack the earth. Prepare your army," he said. General Fallon did not like this at all. Meanwhile, Jack saw a room where items stolen from the earth were kept. During all this, he heard Isabel begging for her life. The giants were preparing to eat her. Jack immediately rushed there. A giant was searching for something. When Jack couldn't get Isabel out, he went to Elmont and gave him a knife. When the giant came back, he covered Elmont with flour from all sides and then put him in the oven. Maybe he wanted to make a samosa out of Elmont. Jack climbed up. Meanwhile, Elmont broke through the flour and freed himself. Suddenly, the giant pulled Isabel out of the cage. Jack seized the opportunity, picked up a big knife, and stabbed it into the giant. Soon, Elmont also managed to free himself. Isabel hid and Jack clung onto the giant's back. In his attempt to crush Jack, the giant slammed himself hard against the wall, but the fool ended up killing himself. Elmont was amazed to see that Jack had killed such a huge giant. Just then, Jack said that he knew a way out. "Hurry, come with me." Down below, the king asked his general whether they should cut down the magical plant. To this, the general advised that they should wait a little longer, otherwise the people who went up might not be able to return. Soon, Jack, Elmont, and the princess reached the river bank. There, they found a sleeping giant. Jack thought that they could use a beehive and put it in his cheek. "Let's wake him up, then he'll run away. He won't pay attention to us." Both men went to the sleeping giant. They placed the hive in his mask and ran to hide. Within moments, the giant woke up with a start. He lost his balance and fell off the cliff. Overjoyed at escaping yet another trouble, Isabel and Jack hugged each other. But Elmont didn't like this. As he walked toward the edge, Elmont said that he would have to stay there, so that he could keep an eye on Roderick. He told Jack to take the princess home, saying, "Now you are her guardian." Isabel said goodbye to Elmont, and the two of them set off from there. Just then, the giant fell near the magical beanstalk. The king saw this and told his general, "My daughter is not more important than the entire kingdom. Everyone's lives will be in danger. Cut it down." The general still wanted to wait for the princess to return, so the king picked up a sword and started cutting it himself. He was loudly apologizing to his daughter. Seeing the king's determination, the general told his men to cut it down quickly. At the same time, Jack and Isabel were climbing down the beanstalk. They saw their city and realized they were quite close. Then they started wondering what the people below must be doing. The work of cutting down that magical plant was going on very quickly. Meanwhile, in Gantua, Elmont was waiting for Roderick at the edge. He woke up when the army of giants approached. Roderick arrived and headed toward the edge. Then suddenly, Elmont attacked him and his remaining beans fell down. Now a fierce fight broke out between the two of them. Roderick called for help from the giant, so General Fallon told his men to get him out. In this fight between Roderick and Elmont, Roderick was winning. But just then, Elmont grabbed his sword and wounded him. Roderick took advantage of the moment and pushed Elmont off the edge. But Elmont picked up his dagger and killed him.
The giants broke the stone and made a hole. But they couldn't reach Roderick in time, and Roderick was killed. But now they had gotten the crown. General Fallon put it on his finger and became the king of the giants. Down below, the men cut off a part of that magical plant. As soon as the lower part was cut, the plant started shaking in a strange way. Up above, Isabel and Jack felt it too. Now the plant was falling rapidly downward. So Jack told Isabel to hold on to him tightly. Meanwhile, Elmont also climbed onto the stalk before it broke. At this moment, General Fallon was watching him. Jack and Isabel were descending rapidly. Jack used a part of the plant like a rope and both of them swung away holding onto it. The upper part of the plant, which Elmont was holding onto, fell all the way to the palace. But before it hit the ground with a thud, Elmont jumped off. The king was deeply saddened, thinking that he might have lost his daughter. And then suddenly General In came there with Isabel. Isabel told her father the whole story of what had happened upstairs. The king rewarded Jack for saving his daughter and said, "As a father, I can never repay your debt." Saying goodbye, Jack gave Isabel the book with a heavy heart so that she could remember him somewhere in the corner of her mind. And soon after, the princess went to the palace with her father. Everyone thought that the danger had now passed. But meanwhile, General Fallon found the magic beans from Roderick. He threw them into the water and immediately another magical plant began to grow. General Fallon got his people ready because the beans were sprouting right at the edge of their land. Before the plant had fully grown, the giants started climbing up it. Eventually, the general climbed up as well. On the ground, Jack looked for his horse and saw the giants coming down. Then he quickly mounted his horse and rushed to inform the king. Within moments, the giants reached the earth. Jack told a guard to ring the bells quickly and then he went to the king and Isabel to tell them about the giants. Just then, they saw some giants behind them. Everyone started running toward the city. General Fallon was now after the king. Elmont prepared the army and the city. Everything from bows and arrows to hot oil was made ready. The giants had now come right up behind Jack. Elmont was waiting for them to enter the city so he could set the oil on fire. As soon as the king entered the city, the bridge was raised. Jack jumped, but General Fallon jumped right after him. Elmont pushed him off the bridge and he fell into the oil. The other giants started preparing to enter the city and Fallon also survived underwater. Meanwhile, Elmont introduced Jack and Isabel to each other. He told the king that the crown was on the finger of that two-headed giant. Until we get it back, we can't escape this trouble. Just then, the giants threw a huge bell into the city and hooked it to the bridge, pulling it towards them. The king told Isabel to go to her room and light a torch so that the neighboring kings could be warned. He told Jack to take care of his daughter. Elmont and his remaining soldiers started defending the bridge. Isabel showed Jack a small path that passed through the underground tombs. Soon, they passed by King Eric's tomb. They reached the king's chamber, but just then they heard something from beneath the ground. General Fallon was breaking through the wall from below. Seeing him, they immediately started to run away. The army kept trying to stop the giants, but the giants completely overpowered them. Now the giants were throwing burning logs into the city. The soldiers were attacking the giants with spears, and for a while, they gained the upper hand in the battle. But the giants fought back and broke their weapons. Fallon soon caught the scent of the princess. Isabel and Jack, the king, they were hiding in the room. General Fallon soon found them there, and they started running away through a narrow staircase. Fallon broke through the wall and reached them, catching Isabel. Jack tried to save Isabel, while Fallon was determined to kill her. Now the giant was about to swallow Jack, but just then Jack took out his remaining magic bean and put it in the giant's mouth. The magic bean started growing inside the giant's stomach and burst out, tearing him apart. Meanwhile, the rapidly growing plant also destroyed the palace. As the giant's body parts were falling near Jack and Isabel, the hand holding the crown landed right next to Jack. Meanwhile, the other giants had pulled down the bridge, so the humans closed the city gates. Everyone was ready, knowing that now the giants would attack with their full strength. Suddenly, they saw a magical beanstalk breaking through the castle, and all at once, the giants dropped their weapons and knelt before the humans. Jack then appeared from behind, wearing the crown, and Isabel took his hand. Sometime later, Jack was telling the end of the story to his children, where the giants were sent back to their land and the princess married a village boy. The children asked about the crown, worried about what would happen if the giants came back, but Jack explained that the crown is kept safe in a special place. Just then, Isabel came to them and this lovely family began living together. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.